So now we will see the practical implementation of operator overloading. So we will just implement operator overloading to overload binary addition. Okay, so our main task is now to add two complex numbers with the help of operator overloading. Okay, so now we'll just see. So I will just create, okay, some variables of type integer in the private section, that is the instance variable, and in the public part I will just create a constructor of type complex. So a constructor of type complex has been created. Okay, so consider it as a default constructor because we will be, okay, using some complex objects later on, so it has to be created so that there should be no error in our program. I'll be using a parameterized constructor, okay, in order to initialize the instance variables a and b. So this is integer. So what will I'll do, I'll just assign a equal to x and b equal to y. So the constructor work has been completed. So now we'll just, okay, we'll just define the operator overloading, okay, function, or you can say the operator that we are going to overload. So what is the definition as per the syntax? Okay, so it must be the return type. Okay, so the return type is the class that is complex. Okay, name of the operator that we are going to, okay, that we are going to, you can say, overload is plus, but it should be preceded by a keyword that is operator. Okay, so operator plus is there. So this is very important. So in spite of using any function here, we have just implemented the keyword operator. Okay, and plus is the operator that we are going to implement. So if you want to implement binary, you can say, subtraction, then in place of this plus you just, okay, write minus. Okay, so in this particular common brackets we'll just pass the complex type reference. Okay, so I'll just pass complex ampersand c. So I'll just, okay, I'll just keeping this logic part as blank. So I'll be just implementing. First I'll be creating the main. So this is the main. So now in main, what I'll be doing, I'll be just creating the complex type objects, okay, c1, c2 and c3. So in c1, what I have to pass, I have to pass certain values. So as this is a parameterized constructor, so 100, 200 I have just passed, and in c2 I just pass 300, okay, comma 400. So any random value you just pass. So the significance of this 100, 200 is 100 plus 200i. Okay, this is the real part, this is the imaginary part. Similarly, 300, 400 means 300 is the real part and 400 is the imaginary part. And C3 is used, okay, so that we can just now process this type of thing, that we can directly write C3 is equal to C1 plus C2. Now this will be a valid operation. Okay, this will be a valid operation now. Because why this is a valid operation? Because now we have, okay, now we have overloaded the operator. So we have just overloaded the operator, that is the plus operator. Okay, that is the plus operator we have overloaded. Now we want to retrieve the value that has been returned to this C3. So I'll just invoke a function. Let us suppose the function is show. So C3 dot show. So we'll be just creating the function. Okay, so first of all we just create a function show, and then we'll complete the definition part. So this show function will contain, okay, only the requirements that we want to, okay, show as an output, that is the complex number in the form of a plus ib. So I'll just write a, and in this particular thing I will write plus I, and I'll just write b. Okay, so this is the complex number that will be produced after the successful execution. Okay, now we have to complete the definition part. So in the definition part I'll be just creating, okay, a temporary variable of type complex. So I'll just create a temp of type complex, and in temp dot a, that is the real part of the temp, I'll just pass a as implicit because a is inside the c1. Okay, so this a belongs to c1 object and it has been passed implicitly because c1 is the caller object, plus c dot a. Okay, so this c dot a means, this c dot a means the a from the c2, because we have passed c2 as an argument. So a belongs to the complex c1 and c dot a, in this a belongs to the complex c2, because this A has been passed as explicit argument. Okay, so because we are accessing this explicitly, because C2 has been passed as an explicit argument. So now what we'll do, we'll just write temp dot b is equal to b will be implicitly passed and c dot b will be explicitly invoked. Okay, so now real part has been added to real part and imaginary part has been added to the imaginary part, and we will just return this temp. Okay, so this temp will be returned. So now we'll just try to compile this code. Okay, and let's check. So we'll just see. So it has been compiled successfully. Okay, there are no errors. So we'll just try to execute it, and we just see the output is 400 plus 600 I. Okay, so this is the output that we have just expected. Okay, so it has just add 100 to 300, that is 400, and 200 to 400, that is 600. So the output is in the form of a plus ib. Okay, so now this call, that is c3 is equal to c1 plus c2. Okay, if I just make it a comment, and this c3 is equal to c1 plus c2 is resolved by the compiler as, so the compiler is reading this as c3 is equal to c1 dot operator plus, and inside this it is taking c2 as an argument. Okay, so what does it mean? So this is resolved by the compiler. Okay, so for the compiler this is being resolved by the compiler. So this call, that is the call at line number 35, it is being resolved by the compiler as c3 is equal to c1 dot operator plus c2. So it means that c1 is the caller object. So c1 is calling operator plus, in which c2 has been passed as an argument and the value is being returned to c3. Okay, so if I try to execute this, okay, so it will be compiled successfully. Okay, because the compiler is reading it like this only, so there will be no error. Okay, both the statement means the same. Okay, so here you can see there are no errors, and if I try to execute it, so the output is same, that is 400 plus I 600. So in this way, okay, we can perform operator overloading. Okay, so if you just keep a space in between, so it will not create any error. Okay, so you can write, you can give a space, okay, you can omit a space, so it is not a big thing. Okay, the logic must be clear. Okay, so you can see the output is, there is no change in the output. So I hope now this concept is clear to you. Thanks.